Because on the outside, my life looked really good. I mean, my life looked really good. I felt like for most of my adult life, I was just a doormat, people pleaser. I mean, I just put everybody and everything above me. I just didn't prioritize myself at all. And I just, like I said, I woke up in my 40s just looking around my life, just thinking, how did I get here? And I just threw a stick of dynamite into my whole life. And everyone's like, I thought you were so happy. It's like, yeah, that's because I'm really good at pretending.
Yeah.
To make everybody else feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? So I think so many women do that. They pretend, they stuff their feelings, they don't say what they want. And that was 100% me.
Yeah. Hello, beautiful Redlow women. How are you today? It's Terry here, your coach and biggest cheerleader. I'm here to put a little bit of inspiration in your day. Welcome to the Redlow Women podcast, where we empower midlife women to reclaim their confidence, rise higher, and step boldly into their next chapter. And we do it together. And today, you're going to hear a wonderful conversation between me and my friend, Julie Scott. Julie is the epitome of the Redlow woman. She has reclaimed her confidence, embraced her voice, defined her path. She is leading with courage, and she has owned her space. She is a powerhouse and a wonderful role model for all women. She coaches midlife women, and you're going to hear our conversation about her journey. At the age of 40, Julie looked around her crumbling marriage, her unfulfilling job, and a city that she no longer wanted to live in. And she thought, is this all there is? So she dove into self-help, she hired a coach, and she began uncovering her own limiting beliefs that had held her back for so long. Today, she is an immersive meditation coach, a certified hypnotherapist, and a life coach. She combines neuroscience, spiritual connection, and subconscious reprogramming to help clients create real, lasting change. Her process, that she calls effortless change, empowers people, especially women, to stop second-guessing, reconnect with their inner truth, and to move forward with clarity and confidence. Julie's mission is simple: to help people come home to themselves. So grab your headphones, a warm cup of coffee, and let's dive in. I am so excited about this interview today with my friend, Julie Scott. You're going to hear just how amazing she is. And I want to give just a quick backstory. You already heard in the intro all her amazing qualities. She's just an incredible human, just so positive and beautiful and kind. And it's been a gift of my life to meet her. So Julie and I met through a mutual friend from another coaching program. We actually live in the same city, so we have met in person. We've gone on hikes. I've celebrated her birthday, and there's just so much more to come. I say we are soul sisters, and every episode I do, every interview I do, I say is my favorite, and this one's really special. So without further ado, welcome, Julie Scott. I'm so grateful you're here.
Oh my God, me too. I'm so excited to be sharing some time with you to chat on your awesome podcast. And I'm so very blessed to have met you too. Thank you to Laura, for introducing us. And the fact that you're right in my backyard is just, again, what a blessing. So
yeah, it's
the
been
beginning
a
of a long, long, long friendship, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I felt like I've known you forever. So this is just so much fun.
Same.
Thank you for saying yes to me, for doing this, and for making it a hell yes.
Oh my God.
I got on your website and saw your quote that says, if you ever looked around your life and you think, is this all there is? I'm that woman who will tap you on the shoulder and say, hell no. And as I was looking at that, I look up on my wall, I have make it a hell yes. So I say that we are soul sisters, and that just confirmed it. You know, you are just so gifted with your speaking, and it's a gift to be here today and to have you on this podcast. I love doing this. It's just settles my soul in so many ways, and I love these conversations. And as I was sharing with you before we even started, you know, my listeners are midlife women, and I know that's your audience too. And I know you're just going to bless everybody with all that you have to say. You are an immersive meditation coach and a life coach, and you've written a book. You're really just so positive, and you're a great role model for women. And where I'd like to start today is with your book that you've published. I kind of want to dive in and talk about that, because I think that'll probably let the audience know kind of who you are. You wrote a book called This Time It's About You, and I think it's an amazing title. And I want to know kind of why that title and what prompted you to write that book. Because I wrote a book too, and it's kind of like, you know, putting ourselves out there. and sharing kind of who we are. Often it's our journey. So share a little bit about that, if you don't mind starting there.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I've always thought I wanted to share my story, my journey up until that point. And I was kicking around the idea of writing a book for a long time and kind of scared myself off of it a lot. And then I don't know if I shared this with you on our hike. I feel like we talked about my entire life story on that hike we went on recently. But I was guided by the universe to actually do a book. And I don't know. I joined a book writing group with a coach that I had worked with in the past, and she'd already written a book, made it a bestseller, believe it or not. And so I decided to jump on board and be a part of a group. Frankly, I knew that if I invested into something that would make me write a book, I would do it. So I did write the book, and that title came out of, I came up with a name of my business, which is It's About Time, Baby. And then the tagline was, and this time it's about you. And it was because I felt like for most of my adult life, I was just a doormat, people pleaser. I just put everybody and everything above me. I just didn't prioritize myself at all. And I just, like I said, I woke up in my 40s just looking around my life, just thinking, how did I get here? Is this all I get? Is this all there is? And I started the journey of waking myself up and realizing that I could have more. I could have, in fact, whatever I wanted. And so that's kind of the book is my story of waking up. I give a little bit of a background of where I grew up, how I grew up. I'm the youngest of four girls. I lived on a dairy farm in upstate New York. And brought up in a Christian home. So I had religion in my life. It's just how I kept my life very small for many years, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. Like I did everything that I thought I should be doing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Yep.
I went to college, I got a job, I met a guy, I got married, we bought a house. It's like all the things that you're just supposed to do. And he already had children. So there was no push for me to have children. And so it was just kind of like I feel like my life was just happening to me. And I wasn't like intentionally choosing it. It just kind of like whatever came next. I just kind of did whatever came next because it was like, that's just what you do. And like I said, and I woke up in my 40s. I'm like, what's going on here? Where am I? And how did I get here? And I just realized I had been asleep and for most, sleepwalking through my life. It's not that I didn't have any fun or I didn't have any friends because on the outside, my life looked really good. My life looked really good. And, when I ended up leaving my husband because I was just unhappy in my marriage, I was unhappy in my job, I was unhappy in the city I lived. And I just threw a stick of dynamite into my whole life. And everyone's like, I thought you were so happy. It's like, yeah, that's because I'm really good at pretending.
Yeah.
To make everybody else feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. So I think so many women do that. They pretend, they stuff their feelings, they don't say what they want. And that was 100% me.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I honestly feel like I woke up then when I left, right when I left my marriage. I think I had to tear my whole life down to start over,
I think most of us do. So interesting. I was listening to a podcast that Michelle Obama was on, Stephen Bartlett, and she said, I did all the things. I went through and I checked all the boxes, went to the right school, went to the right college, went to law school. And she just was talking about how we check the boxes. And that's what made me think about, we all do that, right? We check the boxes and all of a sudden we hit this life and we're like, wait a second. I'm not happy. It all looks good on the outside, but inside I'm crumbling. And I love your analogy of just throwing a stick of dynamite in and kind of blowing it all up,
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was just over it. And I think it's because I had stuffed my emotions and my feelings and my voice for so many years that, by the time I did say something, I was like, oh.
Y'all can't see, but she just flipped off the camera. This is awesome.
I didn't want to say a swear word, but you know what I mean? I was just like, because I was just so angry and bitter on the inside. And I didn't, and it wasn't anybody's fault but mine. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. It took me a few years afterwards to figure some of that out. So.
Yeah. I so get that. And, I stuffed my feelings too for a long, 17, I had an eating disorder. So I so get this. And it's why I started the podcast. It's where I kind of just started, speaking and using my voice. And so we have so much in common. I say that every time I talk to you, I learn something new. So with that, so you write your book, you go on this, I'm assuming, the self-discovery journey,
Hmm.
right? And kind of what came next? How did you land here at being a coach, being an immersive meditative coach and coaching others and having this passion to really help women believe in themselves, say goodbye to that
Yeah.
people pleasing, all those things that we all struggle with, especially I think even at midlife, we kind of arrive at this place and we're like, wait, like you said, is this all there is?
Yeah.
So share a little bit about that. Like,
Sure, absolutely. Well, I was in corporate sales for many years, and I made decent money, and I was good at it and stuff. But it was just like it was kind of soul sucking. I was like,
mm,
I just didn't really love what I was doing, and yeah, and like I said, I had left my marriage, and I started reading every self help book I could get my hands on, and started listening to podcasts and doing
yeah,
whatever I could to figure my stuff out. And then I met a girl in Tulum on a vacation back in
mm,
2015 or so. And she's just an average person at this yoga retreat that I was at. And then she kind of disappeared. We just became Facebook friends. And then she kind of disappeared for like a year and a half or so. And then I saw her come back on the scene and she had a light in her. And I'm like, what is going on with this woman? And I
mm,
couldn't stop looking at her pictures. And it's not that she had lost weight. It's not that she changed her hair color. None of that. It's just she had a light in
mm,
her that it was palpable. You could see it, you could feel it, the energy. And so I reached out to her in Messenger and I was like, what is going on? Like, you look amazing. I want whatever you have, whatever that
wow.
is. And so we started talking and she had been working on herself and she had started her own coaching business. She's like, I'm a life coach. And I'm like, what is that?
Mm.
I didn't even know what that
Enlighten
was
me.
10 years ago, right? And so I ended up hiring her. I ended up working with
Mm,
her for 3 or 4 months. And through that process of working with her, I learned so much
mm,
about myself. I felt like I'd leaped forward so much further than I had in the previous 3 years of struggling, looking through books and reading stuff and trying to figure my stuff out. Working with her, having somebody mirror back to you what you're saying
yeah,
unconsciously, right? Or on autopilot, having somebody question you, something that you say that you don't notice you're saying. I mean, just certain things that she saw
yeah,
my blind spots that I couldn't
yeah.
see. And about 2 months into our working together, I picked up on it really fast and I started kind of coaching myself. And
Oh,
she
wow.
said to me, she goes, you are a natural at this. You are so good at noticing patterns, picking up on habits, noticing what you're saying now. Your awareness has really increased astronomically since we've been working together these last couple of months. She says, have you ever thought about changing careers? And I'm like, all the time. But I'm so scared to do that because, the financial security, right?
Right.
And she's like, well, this is something that I think you would be really good at. So maybe just put some thought into it. And so I did, and I realized that I this was something that I could do naturally, and it came
Mm,
naturally to me. I felt very comfortable. I love people. I
yeah,
love people, 100%. And so it just was something that came naturally to me. And so I remember I didn't go out and get certified. So,
yeah.
just one day I walked in the bathroom when I was feeling spunky, and I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, I'm a life coach.
That's awesome.
I'm a life coach. And then I was like, and the more I said it, the more excited I got about it. And
Mm,
then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say I'm a life coach. And it's exactly what I did. And I talked to a couple women at the gym that I was at, and they're like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm a life coach. And they're like, oh, wow. And we talked for a little bit. And then within 2 weeks of saying that to myself in the mirror, a woman hired me. And I was
wow.
like, I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what to charge. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I did it. And then I got certified the next year. But
Oh, so you
I
did,
worked, I
you
did. I
did
went
get
ahead and
certified.
got, well, I thought, well, I want to know what I think I don't know. But in hindsight, frankly, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have a certification, but I've never in the 8 years that I've been doing this now have ever had anyone ask me if I'm certified.
Interesting.
I think
Yeah.
it's a calling for mo,
Mm,
and I'm not poo-pooing on on certifications, not at all. And I think it's a good training. But before there was training, there were people who were helping other people
Right.
just like I was doing. And
Right.
I know I have a good heart. I would never steer anyone wrong. I'm a good listener. Like I said, I love people. I want to help people. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. And then I did get myself certified. And then it just kind of went from there. And I worked part-time doing it in the evenings and on the weekends until I felt like I could built it up enough to feel comfortable. And then I just started saving money so that I
Yeah.
could leave my regular job.
Wow.
And so I did that at the end of 2019. I left my regular job and went full time into coaching in 2020. There's a funny story with that. I just want to tell you really fast. My model for business was doing in-person workshops, right?
Yeah.
So I went full time into coaching in January of 2020,
Yeah. Wink, wink. No,
in-person workshops, right?
where you were meeting with people.
Right. And surprise, surprise, in 2 months,
Yeah.
that's gone. So you know what happened then. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I've persevered. I'm still doing it.
So now it's online and now you're able to do it in person as well. And I would
Yes.
agree with all the things that you are just naturally so good at it. You are a great listener. I think you're very, very intuitive. You're
Thank
very
you.
compassionate, but you're also very strong. Like you are able to really speak directly and honestly with love in a really great way. So I think you have such a gift, and we have so much in common. We're in a similar space, and I love who you are and what you do, and I think you said all that so well. It's interesting as you were talking. I was thinking about, was your experience similar to mine in that I always knew I wanted to write a book. And ironically, I took a course and I started with the podcast. No idea why. That was kind of a whole fluky thing. But my whole journey has been finding my voice and speaking up for myself. We have this in common.
Yes.
And then I wrote my book. And the book, so everything I did kind of led to where I am now. But I
Yes.
found the book to be, I wanted to inspire other women. That was really my goal. And I think that, and it was kind of a cathartic exercise that
100%.
that led to the coaching. And did you find that with you as well when you wrote? I mean, I tell everybody, you want to find out what you're made of, write a book, like,
Well, I was already because my coaching started in 2016, and I didn't write a book until the middle of 2018. So I started
oh, okay.
coaching, and then so I had about 4 or 5 years. Well, actually, because I left my husband in 2004, so I had a good 10 years or more of time of working on myself before I got into coaching. So
Okay.
I was kind of a slow starter. But yeah, then I wrote the book two years later. Well, yeah, 2017 was when I got certified. And then in 2018, late 18, I started writing the book and finished it in 2019.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was kind of yeah, because then I felt
Wow.
like I had something to talk about. I felt like I had finally created some momentum in my life. And I also thought of the book, frankly, as something that could help me springboard my business because
Yeah.
it gives you a little bit of authority because you've written a book, because it's not nothing to write a
Right.
book. It's, to get published and all of that. I mean, I did self-publish, full transparency, but I
Yeah.
mean, still, it's an accomplishment to write a book in general.
Yeah.
So,
And this is back before there was AI, when you actually had to write
yeah,
your own book. I
yeah,
say that
100%.
delicately, but you know what I mean? Like you had to,
Yeah,
that's when it's hard. So I applaud that. I think
thank
it's
you.
just wonderful. It's not easy to do. And I know you have your book on your website, and we'll put all that here in the show notes, but can people get it on Amazon as well?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
excellent. Okay, great. Well, we'll put all that here in the show notes. And I think self-publishing is such an awesome thing to do.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it allows people who otherwise wouldn't get published to share their
Correct.
voice. And that's what I mean. And again, we're all snowflakes. And what
Yeah.
speaks to me may not speak to you. And we need somebody who our energy connects with their energy. And I mean, I've had quite a few people tell me that my book was helpful for them. And I love
Mm,
that. And it
that's
really is
awesome.
just my story. I mean, I was scared to death though, because it's funny when I wrote it, I really poured my heart and soul. And I never thought anybody was actually going to read it.
Mm.
I wrote it really just for me, the cathartic
Yeah.
thing, the
Yeah.
healing journey that it takes you through. So, anyways, it was
It's so just a
a little
side
scary.
note. I heard Elizabeth Gilbert in an interview once say that if she had written Eat, Pray, Love for her audience, it would never have been the book it was. She wrote it for herself. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, until this day, like that's really her most famous book, right? So I've always thought about that. You hear some people say, don't write the book for yourself. And there's a perfect example,
Yeah.
how
Well,
else
it's
do we
just like
write it?
any art. It's like any art. I have a friend who's an artist, and she's trying to make money selling her art. And she keeps trying to think about how she can make something that somebody will want to buy. And I'm like, I think that the secret sauce to creating and selling anything is making it something that you make for
Mm,
yourself. If it comes from you, from what
mm,
you love, from what you find beautiful, then there's going to be someone out there that's going to resonate with that piece, with your voice, with your book, with your whatever it is that you're
yeah.
creating and putting in the world. It's like you are your brand. You are
Mm,
the art. It's because that's
it's
what makes us special and different and unique. I mean, right?
it's so true, right?
Yeah.
It's oh, that's so spot on. It's true, and it has to come from that energy in that place. That I think people feel that.
I
Spot
do too.
on. I love that. So, tell me a little bit about being an immersive meditation life coach, because I think this is so fascinating. I actually had the privilege of taking your 5-day challenge that you do. It's awesome. You are so good at this. I told you this, like you had me tear up so many times, and just like the downloads I got. And I'm not one to meditate, but the way you guided it was so loving and just to calm my mind in that way. I got so much information. It was awesome.
Oh,
And you,
well, I'm so glad.
yeah, it was awesome. And you're really intuitive. You really are. So share a little bit about what your immersive meditation coaching is about. Like for the audience that's
Absolutely.
listening in, share what you do. And I know you have your coming home and all these different things. Kind of share a little bit about what that is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you how I got to it because I was doing regular one-on-one traditional life coaching, a life coaching model of just one-on-one conversations and asking open-ended questions that you're very good at, by the way,
Oh.
Terry. But asking open-ended questions and trying to get someone to go a little bit deeper and see if they could get underneath what's going on for them. And yeah, and that can be really helpful and it does work. But I found my own experience is it only worked to a certain extent for me, like
Mhm.
with my own coaching. I mean, working with my own coach, that only took me so far. And then I also started noticing that even with my own clients, they would move forward and they would make, gain ground and all of that while we were working together. But as soon as we stopped working together, they stopped moving. At least that's what my experience was. And I kind of felt like that was what was happening with me too. And so then I started getting curious about what really makes us tick. And then I started, learning about the science behind our subconscious mind and how our beliefs live in our unconscious and subconscious. And if we really want to shift beliefs, we can't really access our subconscious while we're conscious, right?
Right.
So it's like you need a way to relax the body to be able to, and that's how hypnotherapy, because I'm a hypnotherapist as well. That's
Right.
how hypnotherapy works. It's like you have a conversation with someone, and whatever you're talking about becomes top of mind. And a good hypnotherapist will take your words and speak them back to you after
Mm,
they've put you into a relaxed state. So I became a certified hypnotherapist because that was kind of the first thing that I thought, oh, maybe hypnotherapy would be a good way for me to discover more about myself. And again, I always, before I give anything or share anything with a client, it has to work for me first.
mm.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yes.
I can't talk about something that I don't have an experience of, because then I feel like an imposter, and we all know what happens with that. So
Yeah.
I need to not feel like an imposter as much as possible. So I became the certified hypnotherapist first, and that was cool. But I also had been doing meditation on my own as another mindfulness practice. And learning about, through Dr. Joe Dispenza and
Mm,
learning about epigenetics and because I'm fascinated with how we can heal our bodies. So that's another side of me that's I kind
yeah.
of geek out on. So I wanted something that combined the two, meditation and hypnotherapy. And I think it's so amazing how the universe just delivers stuff to us that we need when we need it. So here
Yeah.
is a prime example. I've been thinking about this and wanting to, find a way to combine the two. And I'm on YouTube looking at something random, and I see this ad come up about this woman who I actually recognized her name because I had downloaded something from her like maybe 3 years prior to that.
Hmm.
And it was her talking about her. immersive meditation, which is a blend of hypnotherapy and meditation. I'm like, here it is. Here it is. And it was such a wonderfully done ad. The video was wonderful. And I followed it all the way through to, doing the initial investment to learn all I could about it. So, and I got certified through what's called guided meditation framework. And
Mm-hmm.
that is what I do, the immersive meditation. So I, again, was doing all this work on me, and I noticed that I was changing. I was changing, and I was noticing that I was doing things differently without feeling guilty or without even thinking
Wow.
of it. Like, for example, because I am a recovering people pleaser,
Woohoo,
I
me too.
found, right, I found it so much easier to speak my truth without feeling guilty about it or without feeling
Mm,
bad. Or here's a great example. I found myself saying no when I would normally say yes. And I
mm.
didn't feel bad about that either. And I'm like, oh
I
my
love
God.
this.
I mean, I was ready for the body to go, when I would say no, and I just was relaxed. I was like, no, no, thank you. I can't do
Mm,
that. I'm sorry. I can't help you with that or whatever it was.
yeah.
I was like, there's something here. And so I went through this whole program, and then I started rolling it out to my clients, and they started having the same kind of results as me, being able to just, really make changes at the subconscious level. And the beautiful part of it, Terry, is that
Yeah.
it has made my job so much easier as a coach because I know now that everybody has all they need within them.
Mm,
All they need to do is stop focusing outside of them and go within. And all I need to do is relax. And if I
mm,
relax, they relax. I help them relax their body, the physiology. Then they can access their psychology or their emotions and their feelings, right? And then the combination of those two things affects their overall philosophy of life, like the way that they
wow.
show up and behave in life. So
Wow.
it's just to me, it's the most incredible process to see. And and you're not aware that you're actually changing. And I call it
Mm.
effortless change because it really
Oh, yeah.
is. You don't even notice. Like I feel like otherwise we're trying to consciously, whether it's diet or remember to be nice to ourselves or, whatever it is we're trying to change consciously, there's only so much our conscious brain can handle. And our
Mm-hmm.
subconscious runs 95% of our day. So if you can get that supercomputer working for you, then to me, that kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it was a natural transition for me, given what I was drawn to, with the things that happened in my life, the events in my life that brought me to the meditation in the first place.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this really fast. When I wrote my book, I was about 70% done with the book. And my coach was like, asked us all to send out chunks of the book for early testimonials, right?
Right.
I didn't even know that that's what people do with books, but
Yeah.
apparently they do. And so she's like, put together a list of colleagues and peers and that. And that's when I was starting to freak out. I'm like, oh my God, somebody is going to read this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I really said it all. I mean, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of things in there that I shared that were pretty, private and yeah, whatever. That's who I
Yep.
am. I'm very much an open book. And so
Yeah.
I went to bed that night after I sent those 15 or so emails out. I woke up the next morning and my lower back was completely out. Like my
Oh,
back,
wow.
I had to put my elbows in the sink to wash my face or brush my teeth. And it didn't go away. I did all the
Wow.
things that I would normally do to get rid of my problems with my back, and nothing worked. And it went into my sciatica. And I'm talking for 6 months. I couldn't,
Wow.
I couldn't even sit at my desk to finish my book.
Oh,
I had to
wow.
sleep sitting up. I had to lay on the floor with my legs up on. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. And
Wow.
so I was convinced I had a tumor. I was dying. So I never have anything wrong with me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when I ran across this book called Becoming Supernatural
Mm.
by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I read that. I actually listened to it on Audible because at the time I was still living, I hadn't moved quite yet to the desert.
Yeah.
And I was driving in my car in traffic and listening to this book. And it was crazy how I learned about the body from a scientific standpoint and how meditation helps. And long story short, I started doing this breath work technique and then followed up by a meditation. And I healed my back in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so, when
Wow.
something like that happens to you, you can't unknow it.
Right.
It's a lived experience that is profound, and you're like, you know what, there's something here. And so, and that's kind of, like I said, that led me to really digging into the subconscious for change in life, and then the hypnotherapy, and then the immersive meditation thing. So
Yeah.
it's been this whole, it's just like
Yeah.
what's come to me through my own life experiences. So
I love that. And I always think about too, like there's certain things that happen. I think the stress settles in our body in certain
mm,
ways. And these things
um,
that really need to come out. And there's a word, is that somatic work,
yeah,
like
somatic.
when that energy kind of settles in parts of your body that really needs to come out. And like I think about when you're writing your book and it's this cathartic experience, I always looking like, okay, what does it mean when stress settles in, when your back goes up? What does that mean spiritually? Like I always like to know that stuff. Because
Oh
I always think
yeah.
there's a meaning, right? Oh, you're gonna grab.
Yes. Whoops. Well, this book is my Bible. You Can Heal
Oh,
Your
Louise
Life
Hay.
by Louise Hay. And she has in this book a section on the body,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And, in the back problems, she lists mental causes for physical problems, right? And, back problems, lower back, fear of money, lack of financial support, middle back, guilt, stuck in all that stuff back there, get off my back. Upper back, lack of emotional support, feeling unloved, holding back love. I mean, and
Wow. Oh, I gotta go get this.
it's just a little bit of, I mean, I've probably bought this book 12 times. I've given it away so many times. In fact, I have 2 copies and I'll give you one, so you don't need to buy it. So
No,
next time we hike, I'll give you this book.
okay. I love this stuff. Like, 'cause seriously, I always Google it because as you're talking, I'm like, think about that moment in time in your life where you're
Yeah.
going through this really stressful thing. You're leaving your marriage, trying to figure out what's next for you and who you really are, and and you're writing your book and all this stress. Like, you're sharing it with the world, right?
Yeah.
I say writing a book is like being buck naked and letting the world see who you are,
So
right?
true.
And interesting, like, and then that you heal it. That's even the cooler part about it all, that you went through that
Yes.
experience so that you can help other people do the same thing.
Yeah,
Super
yeah, it's
cool.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I haven't, because people are so attached to their beliefs of Western medicine, and
Right.
that they're helpless to heal themselves. And so it's kind of a touchy subject that people aren't always open
Yeah.
to talking about, but it's really, I mean, maybe down the road in my life, I will be braver and bring that in more. But for now, I just have my own lived experience, and I do share it with people,
Hmm.
and I get different types of feedback and responses to it and reactions to it. But I know what I know. It happened
Yeah.
to me. And I've also witnessed other people healing themselves too. And in fact, I got a story for you. Here's a great story.
Okay.
Okay. So growing up, my mom and dad, my mom has always been one of those people that's very driven and very strong. And my dad was always like, well, I don't want to live to be old. He'd always say that. Like, when he was younger than I am now, he'd be like, well, I'm moving to the front lines. I'm like, what do you?
Wow.
I'm like, Daddy, I don't really love you talking about your death, just for the record.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about your death, okay? But he was always like, 70 years, that's how long they say in the Bible or something, and that's 70 years, right?
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
meanwhile, but my mom, when I was 15, had lymphoma and bone marrow cancer, and
What?
she went through all this chemotherapy and lost her hair. I mean, it was I mean, we had to drive her back
Yeah.
and forth 3 hours anyway. And after all of that, they're like, she's not responding. And, the prognosis was we give her 6 months to live.
Wow.
And that was the only time I ever saw my dad cry. And my
Mm,
mom was like, the doctor doesn't really know what he's talking about, because I got so much to live for. I've got 4 beautiful daughters. I've got way too
wow.
much more to do in this life. So I'm fine. Don't cry. I'm fine. And she never shed a tear through this whole
Wow.
ordeal. Right? We go back in 6 months after that. I think, yeah, it was 6 months. And they do another bone marrow test. They have to drill into her back. She
Yeah.
said hurt more than childbirth. And they're like, it's a miracle. She's clear. We can't find any cancer.
Wow.
Right. And we just celebrated her 90th birthday this past Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
dad, on the other hand, talked about his death all the time. He turned 70 years old, and 3 days later, he died of a heart attack. So I had two
Wow, Julie.
examples of my parents, of my
Yeah.
mom
Yeah.
believing that she was going to live and my dad believing he was going to die. And they both got what they wanted. And I'm just like, wow,
Wow.
foreshadowing really for
Yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, because that really affected me so
Yeah.
much. And I was like, wow, it was like our intention, what
Mm.
we intend for ourselves, what we believe is possible for ourselves will be.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, like
it's
how
so,
we buy into the fact that, oh, we live to be about 80 or 90, or if you're lucky, 100 years old. It's like, who says?
yeah.
And who
Yeah.
says we have to degenerate? I mean, in I've read in E Squared is another book I love.
Oh, right.
He talks about there's a I think it's Dr. Alexis Carrel is a French physician who proved that our cells, there's no reason for our cells to degenerate ever.
Wow. Wow.
So, and it's like they've already proven that stress kills.
Yeah.
People don't want to believe that living in low level states of anxiety, fear, guilt, boredom,
Yeah.
that down regulates your gene expression, making a copy of a copy of a copy. And that's where disease comes from. It's not
Yeah.
hereditary,
Yeah.
right? It's hereditary if you have the same thoughts as your parents, if you act like your parents, if you live a lifestyle like your parents, then you're probably going to have the same illnesses as your parents.
Wow.
That's because they've already proven it with identical twins who have
Yeah.
identical DNA who
Yeah.
don't have the same disease come through.
Yeah.
It's it's your thoughts and feelings and the way you live your life.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So,
so
anyways,
powerful. I
this is
know
the kind
there's
of
a
stuff
lot.
I want to shout from the mountaintops, but
Yeah. No,
people
and I
don't
know
want to
you.
hear it.
Well, and I think sometimes too, these areas where we really need to break through that resistance, it's so normal for it to rise up, you know?
Hmm.
It's hard to persevere. Yeah, that's the word I want to say through some of that, you know? That
Yeah.
resistance is strong. There's so much coming out now about this. Even Tony Robbins talks about this, you know? So
Yeah, I'm happy to hear it.
yeah, I love this data. I know it's there, and we know so little about the brain, the power of the brain. You know,
I
it's really
know.
quite powerful. I keep looking at the sign behind you on your desk. It says, "Believe you can." What does the rest of it say?
And you're halfway there.
Yeah, I know. You're so positive, and I just love it. I love that sign. I keep seeing it back there. I'm like, this goes right along with everything we're talking about. It's
It
awesome.
does.
Yeah, you're just so full of information. I love all this. I could go really, I'm such a deep person too, so I could go deep in all this. And I believe in all this stuff too, you
Yeah,
know? We're mind, body, and spirit, and we're energy. So it's so
absolutely.
fun to talk about this. Tell me a little bit about on your banner on your Facebook, you have peace, power, and possibility formula. What is that? What is
I
that?
think
What is your peace, power, and possibility formula?
it's a tongue twister for one,
Yeah, I just said it. I'm like blah blah blah.
but it's really, I look at it as like the process that we go through for change.
Mm,
So the very first part of the formula is you have to wake up. In other words, you have to
mm,
wake up and just be honest with yourself about what is for you.
mm.
What's true for you right now? Because I think half the battle is just being honest with yourself about
Yeah.
what's really going on for you. So you got to first wake up. Then the second part of it is you have to open up to the
Mm,
possibility that something else is possible for you, because so often we're held back by what has happened or been possible for us in the past,
yeah.
because that's what we know. But all the good stuff is in the unknown,
Yeah.
right? Something we don't know. So wake up, then you got to open up. And then the third one, which I think is probably the most powerful, you have to let go. You got to let go of the
Mm,
past. You got to let go of past resentments. You got to let go of past stories, beliefs,
mm,
hurts, stop being the victim. You got to let go and forgive yourself
I
so that you
love
can
that.
forgive others, right? Let go. And that's part of the letting go of the anger, the resentment, letting go of just all of that negativity that you carry around with you. And so many of us
Mm,
do. And we're not even
mm,
aware of it. You're not even
yeah.
aware that we're carrying it around. And then
Yeah.
finally, the fourth part of the PPP formula is be, do, have. So
Mm,
once as you're making these changes, you have to be the person you want to be
yeah.
before you are that person, right?
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
that.
I always say to myself, if I had $248,000 in the bank, if I knew I was going to have 248,000 in the bank at the end of the year, how would I walk? how would I talk? As I continue to grow my business, it's like I think about those things. So you have to be the person, you have to do the things that person would do right now, and then you can have all the things
Mm,
that you want. And also a part of this final step is you've got to look for evidence that you are winning, that you
mm.
are changing, that you are growing. Because in fact, that's how I start every single session with my clients. I have them, I ask them, tell me what's good.
Oh,
What's
I love
good?
that.
What's good? What's happening? How are you winning?
Mm,
How are you changing? How are you growing? Because if you don't look for your evidence that you have grown, it's so easy to go back and go, oh, I haven't really changed at all.
mm.
Because we go negatives. It's so common for us to go to the negative. We have to search for the good. And the more you look
Yeah.
for the good, the more you find,
Mm,
and I really believe that. It's like, I used to call myself a feel good junkie,
mm.
because it's like if
Yeah.
you just focus on feeling good, it'll lead you down the path of creating a life that you love. Because
Mm,
as soon as you notice you don't feel good, it's like, what am I telling myself? And
yeah.
then you can question it's like, I'm telling myself that I'm never going to make enough money to be successful. It's like, is
Right.
that really true?
Yeah.
you know and then you can even get through that. Is it true? It's like, yeah, it's true. But is that helpful? Sure, it's helpful. It's going to put a fire under me. It's like, then the final one is that kind to me to think
Mm,
that way? It's like, and so it's like it gets me out of that funk, just trying to
yeah.
be, you say I'm positive, but it's like it's not about fake positive. It's like I just prefer to feel good.
I
So
love
I don't
that.
want to sit and dwell on stuff that makes me sad. I want to look for the things that make me happy.
Yeah.
Like my cat asleep on my desk right next to me.
Yeah, I love it. There've been a couple times I've been on Zoom here and I see him just kind of wander up. So I
Yeah.
always love that too. I also, as you're talking, and I know I'm going off a little bit, but
It's okay.
thinking about money blocks and things we talked about on the hike, like that number when 248,000 like, is the number you talk about. Like I think
Yeah.
that's so funny that it's not 250, it's 248. That's this number that like
I don't
drops
know
in on
why.
you.
I know.
It's
It's so cool. I mean, I'm like,
I
I keep
love it.
writing it. I keep thinking it. I keep
Yeah.
seeing it. And I mean, I'm guessing it's money.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's awesome. Kind of something fun about
Okay.
you that some people don't know. Well, first of all, you're beautiful. People
Oh,
can't see you. They're going to see it on the cover of the podcast art that I show, but you are beautiful. You are tall. And something kind of fun that I saw on your Facebook, you did a bikini contest back when you were
I
50.
was 50. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. What
And
was
you
happening?
rocked it. Like you
Uh,
are, it's amazing. So what motivated you to do that? Like that's just
okay.
super cool.
All right. So I was working out in this gym in Venice, California, and there was a girl that I was just kind of acquaintances with at the gym. We'd be at the gym at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And I saw her name's Joanne. And I saw her working out with her trainer, and she wasn't in very good shape. I mean, she was in okay shape, she wasn't in fabulous shape, but and then I didn't see her for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months or something like that. And then I saw her in the gym and I was like, her body was like, she was changing. Her body was like, so like, I mean, I was like, I came up to her. I'm like, what are you doing, Joanne? Oh my God, you look amazing. And she's like, I'm training for a bikini competition. And so she's like, yeah, there's figure, there's bikini, and it's all the bodybuilding stuff for
Yeah.
guys and girls. And it's a whole competition and there's just different, categories. And so I went home and I researched what a bikini competition was in that context. And I was like, and it freaked me out. I saw these pictures and these women are in these tiny bikinis. And I'm just like, oh my God, on a stage to be judged. I mean, what could be scarier, right? But at
Right.
the same
Right.
time, it was scary and exciting.
That's
So
awesome.
I was like, and here's the thing, I had been feeling, because I was 49 at the time when I learned about this, just about to turn 50. And I was feeling old because
Mm,
society tells us that when we're
yeah.
50, we're pretty much done, black
Yeah.
balloons over the hill, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I decided I wanted to do something to kind of give the middle finger to 50.
Ah,
And so I decided I was going to do this. And so
awesome.
I hired her trainer and I started working out and I trained for this for 5 months to get
Wow.
ready. Because I mean, I had already been going to the gym. I didn't need to lose like 80 pounds or
Yeah.
anything, but I needed to lose like, 20, 5 pounds or something like that. So
Did
I
you? I
needed
mean,
to,
because you're tall and lean already. But
yeah,
you were
but I
ripped
mean,
in that photo. Yeah.
but I just have it, it just gets distributed everywhere from my earlobes to my toes. It's like it just gets thicker. I just get thicker everywhere.
No.
So anyway, yeah, I did that and it was it was so scary. And I remember I was
Yeah.
shaking so hard and I was shaking so much on the stage, but I had to smile and I couldn't tell if I was still smiling. I was just like, I'm just like shaking. But I mean, I got down to like, I want to say like, I think I was at like 11% body fat. I mean, I
Wow.
really hit it hard. I mean, I really did.
Wow.
But here's the thing. And I didn't win anything. And so
Hmm.
then my sense of competition kicked in because I just wanted to do it for myself. I didn't
Yeah.
invite anybody but my partner and my sister showed up. But I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
invite anybody. I didn't tell
Yeah.
anybody to come or where to go or anything.
Yeah.
It was just for me. And so I didn't win anything. And so then I was like, now I want to win. So I decided I was going to enter another competition the next year. And so I maintained as best I could for a full it was because I did the first one in October. I did the next one the following year in December.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I maintained as much as I could to the next year and I learned how to pose better. And then I
Wow.
every single thing that I entered into all the different categories within the bikini. And it was like some of them are like novice, some are, over 40, over 50, some were just, and then not, and I won everything that I put myself into, even against like 30-year-old girls. And
Wow.
I was like, I mean, that was so good for me. And it really changed my body forever because I
Mm,
learned so much about it and
yeah.
how to just how to you can change your body. And I did it in a healthy way because a lot of that can not be healthy,
Right.
but I made sure I did it in a healthy way. I didn't take any drugs or anything to make it happen. I just, followed a diet. I followed an exercise program. I drank lots of water and I ended up doing, I just went to the gym all the
Wow.
time,
That's
basically. But
amazing.
it was such an accomplishment because I had a lot of
Yeah.
body image issues when I was younger, and it was a big win for me.
It just says a lot about you too that you set these goals and that you achieve them and to put yourself out there at that age and did that for yourself. Like I think that was just such a cool thing for me to discover. I'm like, oh, I love her. Like it's
Aw.
awesome. No, it just
I
says a lot, you know?
Oh, thank
It's
you.
just a really cool thing that you did and to achieve it and to win all those things. Like
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
was
even
like,
know that. Like, I mean, I didn't go that far with everything. So this is just super cool. I know I'm going completely different direction with that, but I just think that's cool. I want everybody to hear that because I think that's really kind of a fun fact. Like it just says who you
oh,
are and you have such a humble heart about all of it, you know? I think that's what's really cool. And I know you now help women with intuitive eating too. Like that's kind of part of a passion that you have as well and part of your coaching, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
I was focusing on that. I haven't been doing it as much, but when I'm working with a client who struggles with that, I just throw that in
Yeah.
as part of our working together. They don't
Yeah.
ask me for it, but I just help them with it.
Yeah. No, that's
Well,
super
I
cool.
mean, part of going within, you get to know yourself, you connect deeply with yourself and your body because
Yeah.
that you're just doing it, but it makes it easier for them to take on the idea of intuitive eating because they're already connecting with their body, so they're going to be listening to their body a little bit
Mm,
more. But yeah,
oh, that's
absolutely.
super
I'm
cool. I
passionate about
love
that.
all that. So here you go from, you've got yourself in rock star shape, you've kept yourself in shape, you work out, you're really great. And then last year you were traveling and you actually fell
Oh,
and fractured your arm and your knee. You've never broken a bone in your body, correct?
yeah, correct.
So do you
Yes.
want to share? I just kind of want everybody to get kind of a picture of who you are and like, and how you've bounced back from that. Share a little bit about that.
Okay. So it was last August. We were in England and we were walking back to our hotel room after dinner and drinks at this pub, basically.
Yeah.
And so I was walking down the hill and just misjudged a rock wall that was descending, and I thought I had cleared it, and I ended up catching my foot on it and flipped and landed all my body weight on my right elbow. And then my in the flip, I hit the elbow first, and then my left knee kind of like stopped the rotation of my body by slamming into the ground. So I broke my left knee and my right elbow. So it was really challenging because usually to use a crutch, you would put it under the opposite arm of the leg
Oh,
that's
wow.
got the fracture, but I couldn't do that. So it was very difficult to not be able to walk, to not be able, and I'm right-handed, and I wasn't able to use my right hand. I couldn't make myself food. I mean, it was for about for a solid 6 or 7 weeks, I needed everyone to do everything for me. And my partner, Paul, had to give me baths for months. I mean, because I couldn't do it
Wow.
myself. I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't even step up into the shower. So it was rough. And it was a real, again, I can honestly say, because I'm how many months now? It was 8 months now
Wow.
past it, the surgery that I had in September. And I always say that trauma or things that knock you down, you can
Hmm.
either go down with it or you can rise up with it. And so this was another opportunity for me to dig deep in myself with all that I know and all that I've learned over the years, to find the blessings in it, to
Mm.
find the good in it, to find, and to understand that I can heal myself faster than anybody thinks I will. And so one of
Yeah.
the cool things is that we had a trip planned to Australia in December. And so I had the surgery September 18th and we were going to leave December 2nd. So that's like 2.5 months ish to
Yeah.
be able to get ready to be able to walk and use my arm and do all this stuff. And so I really hit it hard going to, physical therapy and just doing all the things and meditating and believing that it's possible and all these things. And so I would say I am like 98% back. And I can't tell you how many people are like, I can't believe you're doing so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And it's like I just feel like, well, of course I am. I believed I would do well. And
Mm.
it is just so powerful. I mean, I imagine myself being better right
I
away.
love it. Yeah.
I mean, I had low moments of feeling sorry for myself for sure. I mean, and it was
Yeah.
hard and I can totally sympathize with people who are in pain. And, but at the same time, I can see how that's when mindfulness and paying attention to your thoughts is so important.
Yeah.
I was journaling and writing about what I wanted. I was, just really putting as much energy and focus as I could in imagining myself being right here again.
Mm. Mm.
So it was, yeah,
Oh.
it's officially no longer my turn.
Yeah.
I don't
You
need to
kind of
ever
did
do
it
that
both at
again.
once. And that's why I wanted you to share the story because I knew that the healing process was very rapid. I mean, you had some extensive surgery. And so
Yeah, I did.
I just wanted you to share that because, again, just your mindfulness and your ability to, and the belief in healing and all that and the work that you did, I just think
Yeah.
it's super powerful. It tells, again, who you are. I know you have lots of goodies here that we're going to put in the show notes for everybody where they can connect with you, where they can find out more about you, how they can coach with you. You just are such a beautiful soul and light. Have I forgotten anything else that you want to share? Did we leave anything out?
Um, well, I think probably something that you don't know about me that I'm going to share with you is that I know you're going to talk about maybe what I do in my free time. So
Yep,
that was
yep.
one of the things I do want to share. I love to sing. I love to
Oh, I
sing.
forgot about this. Yes.
Right? I sing in a women's a cappella chorus here in the Coachella Valley, and it's called Coachella a cappella. And I also sing in the quartet from the same group, and we're called Party of Four. And I absolutely love to sing. And so I'm the type of
Wow.
person that will go to like an open mic night with like my sheet music and let the piano player play for me and I'll sing. I mean, I'm not like,
Okay, next time
I'm
you do
not like
that, please call
professional.
me.
Okay. It's on Wednesday nights.
Oh, how fun.
We'll go.
Okay. No,
So,
that's
yeah.
amazing. You're so talented. And you have such a beautiful speaking voice that I'm not surprised you have a beautiful singing voice as well.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Same to you. Same to you.
Oh, well, I can't sing. That if I could, it's so interesting. I think if I could wish for anything, my aunt was a beautiful singer, and I have two nieces that are too. And I wish I could sing. Like that's, I mean, I do fine, but I'm not like being on stage sing. I do fine, but anyway, that's a wonderful
We'll
fun fact
explore
about
that
you.
more, won't we?
Okay, give me a cocktail and karaoke bar, maybe I will. I don't know.
We'll make that
um,
happen.
okay. So this is super fun. I just love this. I have some 5 rapid fire questions. These are silly,
Okay.
but you're just such a gift in my life. It has been for us moving here, came here with intention, empty nesters, and there's wonderful and difficult things. We're
Of
in a
course.
resort town, and so, meeting people that do similar things to you. Like I shout out to Laura Matthews, woohoo, for
Yay.
connecting
Thank you,
us.
Laura.
Like, how did she know? You're such a gift and such a light. And so anyway, I just want people to be able to know who you are.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So favorite color?
Blue. Well,
Oh, I
actually,
knew.
aqua. Aqua,
Oh,
actually.
aqua. I
Yeah.
had a feeling it was blue. Favorite workout?
Ooh, I'm doing this one called 645 right now, and I love it. It's on beachbody.net or
Oh,
body.net.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
645 is called. It's 6 days a week, 45 minutes a day. Not that I'm doing 6 days a week, but I used to.
Wow.
I love
Oh,
that one because it's full body. It's a lot of different things, and I love
I
that
need to
one.
learn about that one. I need to do
Yeah.
that. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Mine too. Favorite movie? Do you have
I've got
one?
a lot of favorite
Or
movies.
you could say movies. You don't have to say just
Mm.
one. That one's fine.
Well, I do love the three that come to mind is Eat, Pray, Love. I love that movie.
Ah,
I also love Braveheart
mm.
and Dances with Wolves.
Oh, wow.
I
Those
love
are,
those movies.
wow, that's
I'm a
awesome.
big movie junkie, actually. I probably have, I mean, I've seen so many movies and multiple times, and I love
Wow.
comedies.
Oh,
I love just happy endings and
me too.
adventures and.
Oh, that's fun. That's so good. Final question. Favorite place you've ever visited?
I got to tell you, the east coast of Australia, south of
Mm,
Brisbane, I would have to say that area, or actually it's north of Brisbane. It's called the Sunshine Coast. No, not Sunshine
mm,
Coast, but it's just that the beaches on the east coast of Australia are the best I have ever seen. And I've gone
wow.
to a lot of places and it's just stunning. So that
Mm.
I would say that for sure.
Is that where Paul's from?
No, he's from England,
Oh,
actually. He's
gotcha.
from
Okay.
outside of London. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember. Okay. Well, thank you. Is there anything else? I've got all the things in here. Do you have anything that's coming up?
Yeah, yeah. I do every month. I do a couple of challenges in my
Okay.
Facebook group, and I gave you the link for my Facebook group, Women
Yep.
Over 50. It's time to come
Yep.
home to yourself. And I do these free 5 day challenges, and I also do a free 3 day challenge. And the 5 day one is coming home, and the 3 day one is no more second guessing.
Oh, I love it.
So if you find yourself doubting yourself, that's a great one for you to kind of get in touch with some knowing and some truth inside of yourself so you can make a decision and feel confident about it.
Awesome. Well, you
Thank
guys,
you.
you can hear how awesome she is. Just such a gift and a light. And all of the things are here in the show notes where you can connect with Julie, connect with her on Facebook, follow along, join her group. She has 7,000 people in her group, by the way, which is
Oh,
amazing. So just you can see why she's great at what she does. And thank you. Thank you for being a gift in my life. Thank you for showing up
same
and
to you.
saying yes.
Of course.
And yeah, it was a hell yes today. So thank you.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thanks,
Yeah.
Terry. Love
You're
you.
welcome. I love you too. This is awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have a few key takeaways that you can apply to your life. And if you'd be so kind to leave me a review, that'd be awesome. It lets other women know that we're making a difference and it empowers them and helps them step forward as well. I will also include the link for the waitlist for my next Speak course, a live 6-week interactive course to help you gain confidence to show up on camera so that you can captivate, connect, and convert your clients to grow your online business. In addition, I have my 3-month Elevate coaching program that is personalized just for you. Until we meet again, keep stepping forward.